Vasudevaya. So tonight we are reciting Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, chapter 17, and verses 31 to 45. Rajavacha. Nate Gudakesha Yashodharatam Madhanjalirvaibhayam Asti Kinchit Navartitavyam Bhavata Kathanshana Kshetre Madiye Tvam Adharma Bandham.
Hare Krishna. The king thus said, "We have inherited the fame of Arjuna. Therefore, since you have surrendered yourselves with folded hands, you need not fear for your life. But you cannot remain in my kingdom, for you are the friend of irreligion."
Vam Vartamanam Naradeva Dehisho Anu Pravritoyam Adharma Punga Lopohonritam Shoryam Anaryam Amho Jeshta Chamaya Kalahashatambha.
If the personality of Kali, irreligion, is allowed to act as a man god or an executive head, certainly irreligious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, civility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will abound.
Navartitavayam tat Adharma Bandho Dharmena Satyena Chavartitavye Brahma Vavarteya Yatra Yagyer Yagyeshwaram Yagya Vitana Vidya.
Therefore, O friend of irreligion, you do not deserve to remain in a place where experts perform sacrifices according to truth and religious principles for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yasmin Harir Bhagavan Jyamana Jyatma Murtir Yajatam Shamatanute Kaman Amoghan Sitara Stira Jangamanam Antarbahirvayur Iveshatma.
In all sacrifice in all sacrificial ceremonies, although sometimes a demigod is worshipped, the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is worshipped because he is the super soul of everyone and exists both inside and outside like the air. Thus it is he only who awards all welfare to the worshipper.
Sutovacha Parikshitaivam Adishta Sakalirjata Vepato Tam Udyatasim Ahetam Dandapanim Ivodyatam.
Sri Sutta Goswami said, "The personality of Kali, thus being ordered by Maharaj Parikshit, began to tremble in fear. Seeing the king before him like Yamaraja, ready to kill him, Kali spoke to the king as follows.
Kalirovacha Yatratva Vadhavatyami Sarvabhauma Tavakyaya Lakshaya Tatra Tatrapi Tam Atishu Sharasanam.
Oh, your majesty, though I may live anywhere and everywhere under your order, I shall but see you with bow and arrows wherever I look.
Tanmedharmamritam Shrishta Stanam Nirdeshtamarhasi Yatreva Niyatavatsya Atishtamste Anushasanam.
Therefore, O chief, among the protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under the protection of your government.
Sutovacham Adhyartita Stata Tasmai Stanani Kalaye Dada Yutampanam Striyasuna Yatrardharma Shaturvidha.
Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, thus being petitioned by the personality of Kali, gave him permission to reside in places where gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter were performed.
Punashaya Chamanaya Jatarupam Adat Prabhu tatonritam madam kamam rajoveram chapanchamam.
The personality of Kali asked for something more, and because of his begging, the king gave him permission to live where there is gold, because wherever there is gold, there is so falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity.
Amune panchastanane yadaharma prabhavakale otareyena datane nyavasata nideshakret.
Thus, the personality of Kali, by the directions of Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uttara, was allowed to live in those 5 places.
Adhaitanena seveta bubuhushu purushakvachit visheshatodharma shilo rajaloka patirguru.
Therefore, whoever desires progressive well-being, especially kings, religionists, public leaders, brahmanas, and sannyasis, should never come in contact with the 4 mentioned irreligious principles.
Vrishasya nashtam strinpatan tapashaucham daya iti pratisandantha ashvasya mahimsha samavardhayat.
Thereafter, the king re-established the lost legs of the personality of religion, the bull, and by encouraging activity, he sufficiently improved the condition of the earth.
Sa esha etardhyadhyasta asanam parthivochitam pitamaheno panyastam ragyerayam vivikshata astadhuna sararshi Koravendra Shriyolasan Gajahvaye Mahabhagash Chakravarti Prihashravaha.
The most fortunate emperor Maharaj Parikshit, who was entrusted with the kingdom of Hastinapura by Maharaj Yudhishthir, when he desired to retire to the forest, is now ruling the world with great success, due to his being glorified by the deeds of the kings of the Kuru dynasty.
Itaham Bhutanubhavayam Abhimanyo Sutodripa Yasyapalaya Takshaunim Yuyam Satraya Dikshita.
Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Abhimanyu, is so experienced that by dint of his expert administration and patronage, it has been possible for you to perform a sacrifice such as this. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the first canto, 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Pandava Arjun Prabhu and Namrata Mataji, for the beautiful recitations. Thank you so much. I'm Sriji Kishori Devi Dasi. I'm just waiting for Mamta Mataji to join us. Mamta Mataji will be facilitating our class this evening. So I'm just waiting for Mamta Mataji to join. I called her a few minutes ago and she did say she was going to join. So please bear with her, and I'm sure she'll join in a few minutes. In the meantime, dear devotees, we can perhaps recite the Mahamantra, or let's recite the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mamta Mataji has just joined. Hare Krishna, Mamta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. I'm really sorry I could not join earlier. But thank you for the recitations, dear devotees. Thank you, Mataji, for really singing the Maha Mantra. My apologies, sincere apologies for coming a bit late. So today, and I will just start off with today the main The topic of the chat today is a summary of the chapter 17, which is punishment and reward of Kali. So I'll try my level best to do that in the way I understood. So hopefully it will be useful for all of us. But please forgive me for my mistakes, anarthas and mistakes. So let's start off with our Mangalacharan prayers, Mataji. And if anybody wants to do Mangalacharan prayers, I'll just do it, no problem. Just give me a minute. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री कृष्ण। Happy Radhashtami to everyone. I hope you all had a nice time. I was there at the man. It was so blissful. So thank you for everyone, for giving me such a lovely time. So today, I was just saying, like, obviously there are about 44 verses. And I thought I'll just quickly say in brief, like, what the whole thing was. So from verse 1 to 4, basically, you have Sutta Goswami is trying to tell to all the sages about how this particular chapter of how Maharaj Parikshit is having a conversation with. So there are 4 characters in this whole of this chapter. One is Maharaj Parikshit himself, and then the bull, who is the personality of religion, the cow, who is the personality of the earth, and Kali. So he is the personality of Kali, we'll say. So they are. So this chapter is a discussion, is a conversation going on among these 4 people, and one after another. So in the first verse, basically, I'll try to also go into the purport just as of how things are. So in the first verse, actually, what they try to say is, Srila Prabhupada tries to say is that people, men without Brahmanical culture, and spiritual initiation, they will all be dressed like administrators, like how in this here, Kali will be dressed up like a king. Even though he's a Shudra, he doesn't have any kingly qualities, but he'll be dressed up like a king. And this is what Srila Prabhupada will say, in this religion of Kali, everybody is a Shudra in a way. The Shudras will dressed up like kings, so they have all falsehood. They're not real kings. And because of that, there is so much of degradation in the society. And so what he also mentions over here is we have this Kshatriyas who are supposed to be the protector of the kingdom of the Praja. Praja means whoever is living in the land of under the king, that is human beings, animals, plants, everything alike. They have to be protected by the king. And the Vaishyas, what their role is to cultivate lands and to protect the cows. So if there's degradation of these two sects also, you will have degradation in the society. So that he tells in the first verse. And the second verse, he tells about the personality of religion, who is none other than the bull. And normally religion is supposed to be spotless like the white lotus, or the white lily. And it is supposed to be spotless. But because of in the age of Kali, this becomes really contaminated. And over here, Srila Prabhupada tries to say that the bull is standing only on one leg, that is one leg of religion. The other three legs of religion are broken down. And the Kali is trying to even destroy that one leg, which the bull is trying to stand. And the third verse, we will try to, Srila Prabhupada tries to say is about the cow. So the cow is again, there's a pitiable situation of the cow. The cow is so distressed over here. And basically because there's so much of sufferings in this world, and that becomes because of the principles of religion. And normally what does the cow represent? So the cow represents religion, and the milking of cow is the religion in the liquid form. Earlier what happens, the cow was supposed to be the rishis and the sages and all that, they derive all milk and all from the cow for their own health, and also for yagnas, sacrificial yagnas and all that. And then over here we see this cow is she's tearful, and she's bereft of a calf. So the calf is also not there. Normally what happens, the calf is such a beautiful creature or a beautiful animal, and the cow gets a lot of enjoyment after seeing the calf. But in Kali Yuga, what happens, that we try to separate the calves from the cows and then try to milk the cow until it becomes dry, and then they send them off to slaughterhouses. So this is what is all this destruction of the Mother Earth in a way. So cow is again Mother Earth. So you're destroying the Mother Earth. So that he tries to say in verse 3. Then in verse, then also Professor Prabhupada tries to say that people always try to destroy the earth in the name of advanced economical development, which is basically without religion, there is no economic development. This is what Srila Prabhupada says. So we can only revive religion by or remove the Kali or remove the irreligion by bringing in religion. So verse 4, now this is by Maharaja Parikshit. So they describe Maharaja Parikshit as he's so majestic and he's quite well equipped with all his weapons. And that is to, why is he so like that? So that he can protect the earth and also destroy or chastise all the miscreants. And so in absence of such a powerful head, the land becomes destroyed. Basically, it'll be full of religiosity and all the sinful things can happen. And so it is very important to have a very strong head. So nowadays, Srila Prabhupada says, like nowadays, how the religion is, all the people who do not have these characteristics of a king, and the cowardly people and the corrupt people become the heads, and therefore the society also degrades. So that is verse 4. Then verse 5, this is again Maharaja Parikshit will be trying to say like how Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, they are all like twice born. So when he says twice born, so first born is by birth through the mother's womb. That is first birth. Everybody has a first birth. The second birth is by spiritual initiation, which we all of us, we should all try to attain. So not only by becoming like a disciple, But the second initiation also means that you are committed to your dharma or your religion of dharma. So that also in a way becomes a second initiation. So and whenever this dharma is not there, then obviously adharma spreads so much that before the earth gets really destroyed, that is the time when Lord Krishna will come to the world in a form of an incarnation. As he says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, 7 to 8 verses, if I can just quickly tell what it is. It's a very, 4.7 and 4.8, the verses are like, Yada yada hi dharmasya gnanir bhavati bharata, abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. So he says, whenever and wherever there is decline in religious practice, or descendant of Bharata, and a prominent rise of irreligion, at that time I will descend myself. So this is where the Lord Krishna himself says. And then he says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavani yuge yuge. So to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. So that is in the verse 5, Srila Prabhupada tries to explain that the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas who are twice born, they are supposed to look after the earth. But if they degrade, then Lord himself will come in the form of in the form of an incarnation. And in verse 6, then Maharaj Parikshit tries to tell to Kali, he says why are you actually beating this innocent cow and the bull all in a secluded place, so why are you doing all these sinful activities? So you see people who are really sinful, they tend to do all these activities in darkness or in secluded places. So, and all these things happen whenever God is not there or God is banished from the kingdom. So this is the time when Kali will try to act show his colors, basically. And so that is said in in this type of world, what will happen? Imagine people who are strong, they can fight themselves, but people who are weak or who are innocent, they get caught in this corruption and in this very bad acts by the miscreants, and then they are killed, innocently killed. Then in the verse 7, Maharaj Parikshit is talking to the bull now, and to say that he's saying who are you, first of all, and why are you here? Are you trying to basically are you some demigod and you're trying to basically harass me in your mind? Basically, why are you trying to show that you're on 3 legs and 3 legs have gone and 1 leg is only present? So who are you? He's trying to ask Kali. To the bull. And let me just get this chapter. Okay. And then, so over here, Maharaja Parikshit is asking the bull, trying to find out who this bull is actually. In verse 8, so Maharaja Parikshit will reflect, he just think, oh my God, he really sees the cow and the bull are so sad. And he's reflecting, he's saying oh my God, look at this. How could there be so much suffering in my kingdom? In my kingdom, I would not expect anybody to be sad. I look after my praja very well. And he's beating himself up in a way, how could this thing happen in my kingdom? And he is very much known to protect his name and fame is so well known that he protects the whole whole of the world. At that time he was the king of the whole of the world. So he feels very bad that how could this happen in my kingdom? And then in verse 8, that's the 8 we said, right? Verse 9. So verse 9, Maharaj Parikshit will be trying to, then he will speak again to the bull and to the cow, He will say he will address the bull as, O son of Surabhi, you don't have to cry anymore, don't lament anymore, And same thing he says to mother cow. And he says that because, see, Maharaj Parikshit is again twice born because he is He's a protector. He's a pure devotee of God, and he is known to protect his praja. So he's twice born. So he says, like, normally in the material world, all the protection of the men are produced by are usually done by the kings and the brahmanas. So brahmanas will do this because of their scriptures and by Vedic principles, and also the kshatriyas by protecting the materialistic things. So they protect the land. So, but normally what happens, there's lots of laws for the protection of the human being, but none for the animals. Now, what they say also is man is, or the human being, he is made from the form and the features of Lord himself, the supreme personality of Godhead. And the cow is formed from the form and the features of the celestial cow called Surabhi. So Surabhi is being looked after by Lord Krishna in the celestial world. So we have all laws, everything for human being protection, but none for the animals. So this is what, again, Srila Prabhupada will be trying to say. So we have to protect both human beings and animals. So to protect the cows and the Brahminical culture, so this is the verse they tend to use, Go Brahmana Hitaya. So we have it in our prayers all the time. So we have to protect both the species, or both the animals. And verse 10, again, they reflect, and they say, like, how Kali, how he is destroying, how Kali in this, in my kingdom, how come Kali is coming and destroying my name, my fame, my life, and whatever they do in this world will also depend upon what your next birth is going to be. So if you do good things, then your rebirth will be in a better place. So by having bad things done under his praja, or under his eyes, or under his kingdom, in his kingdom, that means his rebirth will not be in a good place. So he feels really upset with that. Like, how dare Kali do that? And then he feels like, normally in this world, he explains, Sri Prabhupada tries to explain that in this land, there are some codes of natural law, which is done only by, these codes are written by one Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is to be followed by everyone who lives in this world. You can't make your own law, which happens nowadays. But for example, like we as human beings, we are, the way how we eat, we're supposed to have plants, fruits, whatever it is. But in the animal kingdom, they're allowed to kill their prey, for their subsistence. So that is according to nature's law. So by the codes of natural law, we have to follow. If we do not follow, wherever we do not follow the codes of natural law, then what happens? Then all this irreligiosity will increase and the world will get destroyed. So, but people in the, he tries to say, like, people in the age of Kali, they think that they are the Lord. And then they start making their own laws. And this is where everything starts falling apart. So, and even though they know that, in the code of law, also in the code of natural law, they are bound by the laws of God, and that means everybody will go through birth, death, old age, and disease. And ignorant people do not know that, and that's where they try to do the vice versa. And in the verse 12 again, Maharaj Parikshit is still talking to the bull. He's saying, like, he's thinking, and he's saying, like, what the codes of law are, and if we follow the codes of law, then no one is unhappy. And again, Maharaj Parikshit will try to say, like, yes, in this you have 3 legs of religion have already gone, but with 1 leg you're standing, and you're still standing strong, basically. And then in verse 13th, again, the conversation still continues with the bull, with the personality of religion, asking him. And now what Maharaj Parikshit is asking is, okay, now both of you'll have suffered so much, but please tell me who has done this to you. Who has done this to you? Maharaj Parikshit will be asking both the cow and the bull. But then he will say, in this world where when in this world where Ramachandra and the Pandavas were there was offenseless and human being, honest people were there. How come these things have happened to you in this? So who has done this to you? Please tell me. Please tell me. But they will, Dharma, that is the bull, will know who the dishonest miscreants are, but they will not be able to tell it is so and so, because this is a very important actually verse. I would like to really say how the personality of religion will try to explain. He will say like a devotee of the Lord, will always know that everything is under the control of the God, and they are usually very peaceful and they're offenseless. They will try. They will not try to blame anyone in a way, and they will say that it is all under the will of God. And so by actually by blaming or by telling who has done it is also itself a sin. Like, okay, what is the sin they have done and who has done it is basically even by telling them, it means that you're disobeying the laws of the nature in a way, because you know very well, a true devotee will know why this has happened, or if it has happened and who has done it or whatever it is. But he will not blame that person. For suppose if you're going on somebody, you have an accident or somebody just rise over you, you know that it is, then you think it is your karma, and because of your karma it is God's willing, God's wanting to do this. And that's why we take it as a and we take it in such a way saying that, okay, much worse things could have happened if it has not been for the God. So we take it as God's wish, and we don't want blaming people. That is a true devotee, and this is what Srila Prabhupada will try to say. And in that, then Maharaj Parikshit will be trying to say like, oh no, you have to tell me whoever it is, it doesn't matter. I am here. Even if it is the demigods also, I will try to punish them. But this is where again Dharma, the religion of personality religion will try to explain that obviously a true devotee is quite peaceful, and he will not try to blame any other people. Okay, so coming to verse 15, so again this is, he tries to Maharaj Parikshit will be trying to say like, why again try to ask that who, he'll try to challenge the bull, saying that who it is, and I will punish them. And that time in verse 16 it goes on to saying that they'll talk about apa, the dharma, which is where even we are about the dharma, we'll be talking about swadharma, and what dharma is yours, and what is your occupational duties, and how you should always stick to your dharma, because this is again by the code of law, code of natural law. You are supposed to do your own dharma, but only in the extraordinary circumstances can you come away from your dharma, but then again have to go back to your dharma. And that is where they will try to explain the story of how Vishwamitra had to eat dog's meat and the extreme famine, So, but then you're supposed to come back to your dharma and continue your swadharma. And he says like, you should do your own dharma than to do other people's dharma. Even if you do your own dharma with some faults, it is still at a higher level than doing other people's dharma faultlessly. So wherever there, so the king's role is to see that people follow their dharma. And that is the whole thing about having a head or a ruler of the of the land. And if you the time when people don't do dharma swadharma, then dharma starts creeping in, and then it comes to breakdown. Then in verse 17, what happens then? Then the personality of religion or dharma, the bull, starts speaking, and he says like, the devotee is always under the protection of the Lord, And so he will accept that it is Krishna's will or it is the Lord's will, that whatever is happening is because of the Lord's knowledge. And so he will not blame anyone. He will know it is Kali. Both of them know it is Kali, and the Mother Earth and the personal religion will know that Kali has done so much of suffering in front of them. Even Maharaj Parikshit has seen that Kali is actually causing so much of suffering to both the bull and the cow. But still, they will not blame Kali, because they still feel it is all under Krishna's mercy this is happening. And then he also tries to say, like, personality of courage, says it's very difficult for me to say who is a particular miscreant, because again they try to bring in the different types of philosophy. So Dharma is trying to say, like, how can we actually blame anyone, because there's so many different types of philosophies. And he tries to name what the philosophies are. The Kannada, they will be Vaisheshika philosophy, and Gautama will be using the logic philosophy. Patanjali, mystic yoga. Kapila, Sankhya yoga. Jaimini, karma, mimamsa, and Vyasadeva, Vedanta, Darshana. So they'll say there's so many philosophies, it's very confusing how to say, and they'll try to explain to Maharaja Parikshit that it is really confusing in front of this world. Who can I blame? Who can I blame? I can't blame anyone. And so in Padma Purana, again, there's a mention of Padma Purana over here, saying that one who one's own the trouble, whatever trouble he is in, is due to the fructifying of seedling sins, and this sins can be actually cut off by devotional service. And so the devotees always see the miscreants doing wrong things, but they don't say. The same thing is going on, like in these two verses. Srila Prabhupada is trying to say that devotees don't blame anyone. Basically, they will say it is Krishna's will. So whatever happens, Krishna's will. So by accepting, by surrendering that is the best way to do. And whereas these they try to go on saying, like, how these different the next verse goes on to say again about the philosophies, and how Sri Jiva Goswami will try to explain all these 6 types of philosophies. And because of that, okay, what's the time now? Sorry, 23. Sorry. Yeah, sure. So all these philosophies do not make any sense. So the Vedanta philosophy is the one which we are following through by Lord Vyasadeva. And in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself only says that he is the source of all, the impersonal Brahman, and he is the source of so he's there in everybody. And so the Vaishnavites, in the verse 20, it goes on to say that the Vaishnavites, they have believe that nothing can take place without the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And over here comes your verse where Srila Prabhupada tries to say about this verse 15.15, which he says that Sarvasya Chaham Hridaya Sannivishto Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha Vedaishcha Sarvair Aham Eva Vedyo Vedanta Krit Vedavid Eva Chaham. So he said, like, I'm seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. So basically over here, about when the Padma Purana, when they try to say, like, whatever sins we do in the past, is due to our previous sins, but none of us remember what our sins are. And this is where Krishna is the only one who sees everything through and through all our lives and all our births. So obviously, if you surrender to Krishna, then half of your sins are gone. So coming to then again verse 20, again this goes on saying that in this body we have the soul, our soul, and the Paramatma, and also the Supreme Soul. He's there and he's looking into everything. And we do not know, but he's looking into everything what we do. So we always think like, oh, nobody's looking at me, but that is your eyes. There's always God looking into you, into whatever things you're doing. So you only know what you're doing is right or wrong, and nobody else will know. They might see whatever they condition eyes or whatever they can see that you've done something wrong. That is only to whatever their vision is. But you in your Atma, Antaratma, know what you're doing is right or wrong. So we have to be very conscious of that. So that is where all your the 4 pillars of religion comes, you have to look into that. So again, it goes on to say that, so this is where Maharaj Parikshit will understand that the religion, the personality of religion or dharma, he is very, very, obviously very educated and very sensible. And the way how he's trying to say that, like we are being very ignorant by asking, oh, who killed you? Tell me I'm going to kill you, or whatever it is. But dharma will not try to blame anyone, or Mother Earth will not try to blame anyone. But he will understand like there are lots of things happening. So it's not like one, it doesn't happen with one person, but lots of factors are involved in this. So that is verse 20. And then coming to verse 21, again, they talk about the philosophy. And they try to say over here that the king is also at the same level as dharma. So dharma, the pillar of religion, the personality of religion, he knows what is right, what is wrong in this material world. And like that way, the king is also given to the same status, the same position as dharma, because he is supposed to know what is right or wrong for his own kingdom. And for his own subjects and for the praja, he should know. And that is why he's given the same status. Coming to verse 22. So the personality of religion, again, he goes on to say that no one is directly responsible to being a benefactor of mischief without the sanction of the Lord. And he does not consider anyone directly responsible for such activities. So being very, very wise and answering the question for Parikshit Maharaj. And again, it continues to say that the benefit and the loss is because of God. God sent, and therefore for a devotee to identify, even to identify the person who's done the mischief is also a sin. Okay, like the person who's done the mischief himself. So the person who's done the mischief, or who's done the sinful act, he's anyhow a sinner, but the person who identifies that also is also a sinner. So because the devotee should always tolerate all the losses. Okay, I still have another 5 minutes, Mataji, or 10 minutes? 5 minutes?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. It's at 8:40, Mataji.
Okay, fine.
Bhajan, thank you.
I'll try to say. So, basically over here, what they're trying to say is, whenever good thing happens, then it's all right to remember the God. I mean, we don't remember the God actually, if good things happen. But when there's losses or when there is reverses, that's the time we try to blame the God as though he's responsible for our loss. But a devotee will not do that. A pure devotee will always be saman, will be same at both happiness and at the losses time. So basically they try to say, in verse 23 they say that Lord's energy is inconceivable. You don't even know what the power of the Lord, and why should you blame to the Lord? Because in a way he is not directly responsible, he says. So the God actually, Lord, the Supreme Personality of God actually delegates the duty to Maya. Okay, and the Maya is the main one. So who is responsible for your fruit, for destructive, all these actions. So the more you are away from the God, the more you become closer to Maya, and the more you become closer to Maya, they become entangled, and then all these things will continue a vicious circle. So the summary of that is to be as close to God as possible, and the more you do your chanting and you do your 4 religious principles and plus you do your bhakti, then you will try to be far away from Maya. And then verse 24 goes on to say that, see, in Satya Yuga, what happened? They were all lived in these 4 principles of religion. So they had they were very pure in the way, so they didn't have to, there was no irreligiosity going on during that time. But when they start losing principles of religion, like so the four religion, again the reminder here is austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. And then now in this Kali Yuga, so in Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, one of them, the austerity goes off, and the cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness remains. And Dwapar Yuga, cleanliness goes, and mercy and truthfulness remains. And then in Kali Yuga, only truthfulness is left. And so the only way how we can get away from that is by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam and getting reviving the principles of religion. And Vedas, by reading the Vedas, we do not go to the darkness of ignorance, but to the progression of light. And then so again the Kali Yuga, how Kali Yuga comes into being, and what happens in Kali Yuga, where there's increased pride and increased intoxication, increased womanizing or prostitution and falsity. All these will lead to a lot of advancement in irreligion and the root cause of irreligious activities. And so by proper meditation and by advocating the proper Brahmanical culture, and by bringing these four principles of austerity, cleanliness, and mercifulness and truthfulness, we can regain back the religiosity. So we can get back your religiosity and remove the irreligiosity. And Srila Prabhupada tries to explain how we can do that by 50% of our income should go in regaining back the society, society, to get them back into obeying the four religious principles, and then 25% for your family and 25% of your income for yourself. And by doing so, you will be able to get back the religiosity. And then we're going to verse again 26, 27, the same thing. It goes on saying how we should protect our cows and how we should protect our subjects, and how Srimad Bhagavatam teaching is really the way, the religious, which is Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, is the way forward to get back our religion back into this land. And in verse 28, then the Maharaj Parikshit now over here, he will be, next thing is he gets very angry on Kali and he wants to kill him, and therefore he takes up his sword to kill him. But then Kali very smartly, he will surrender to him. Now in the presence of Kshatriya, if somebody who has surrendered to him, they will protect them, and they will, even though they're the biggest enemy, they will still protect them. And a Kshatriya never surrenders. They try to a real Kshatriya never surrenders, they say. But this, because this Kali was not a real Kshatriya, in a way he surrendered. That's what they try to say over here. And in verse 30, so Maharaj Parikshit will be very grateful to him. Okay, then he will say that I will make you survive, but not in this kingdom. You have to go away from here. And he will give him 4 places to go and stay. And that we know is because of animal slaughter, where prostitution, gambling, and falsity. What's the 4th one? 4 places he will go and stay. But then he will try to search everywhere, but he could not get, and then he'll ask for the 5th place to stay. And God will give, Maharaj Parikshit will give a gold as a place to stay. And then it goes on to say like how sacrifice is required now, and sacrifice in the yagna. So in this Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to help us, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself gives us the concept of yagna, Sankirtana yagna, and how Sankirtana yagna can deliver us from all this irreligiosity. And then and they will try, and the next verses will go on to say like how Kali he trembles in fear, and then he goes away, and then how he surrenders, the same thing, it goes on. And then verse 38 again, it goes on to say like 37 goes on to say like what sort of protection is given by the personality of Godhead. He protects everyone from all sins. So basically how we can how we can get rid of a sinful reaction is by the Lord protecting us, by serving the Lord, by remembering Him, and by being His devotee all the time. And also in this Bhagavad Gita 18.66, where it says that the Lord protects all those who surrender Him from all the sins and also from the resultant actions of the resultant reactions of the sinful actions. So if you surrender unto God, then you will be protected. Then verse 38 and 39, again it goes on to say where the 4 places Maharaj Parikshit gives to Kali to stay, and then he couldn't find, and then the gold. And then in verse 40, again a little bit description of where the 4 places are, the gold, falsity, and intoxication, animal slaughterhouses, and prostitution. And then how, again it goes on to say how we can bring back our the religion by again he reiterates Srila Prabhupada that 50% we have to give for bringing back our religiosity, our religion back into place, and of your income. And then the verse 33 and 44 goes on to say, like, then it comes to the place where the Naimisharanya, all the sages will start doing this yagna of 1,000 years. It will go on, this yagna, and then it's been told that Sri Balarama comes to visit this place. And in verse 44, he says that yagna could only be possible because there were good brahmanas and sannyasis and kshatriyas who could protect the sages while performing the yagnas. And then he says, like, that is why till Maharaja Ashoka, the goodness prevailed, and after that, obviously, Kali has started appearing more, doing more religious things have been happening. So please, I think that's the end. So in a way, this whole chapter of 17, how it describes the punishment, the reward, the punishment to Kali to get out from his kingdom, and the reward of how where he can go and stay. And plus, it is also a lesson for, I mean, it's been told, Prabhupada tries to explain to us that how we should stick to the Vedas, and to give us light, enlightenment, and to get away the ignorance, take away the ignorance from us. And we're following the 4 religious principles strictly. It is not that this is written in the Bhagavatam, and when the Mother Earth was when Lord Krishna had come on the earth, or when the incarnation of the Lord had come on the earth, then bad things went away. But the moment Lord Krishna had gone away from the earth, then all these things have started coming. So now Srimad Bhagavatam is obviously the present Lord Krishna, and we should follow what is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita, and that will help us in bringing back goodness to the world. So by strictly following the 4 religions or 4 pillars: austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, we can bring back the religion once more. And hopefully we shall all endeavor to do that. I hope I've been able to just summarize that in a short space of time. If you'll have any questions, please, I'm more than happy to answer. There are some more, still more in detail, but it's a bit, I think you'll have heard this many times. So I hope I was able to summarize that adequately, Mataji. And please forgive me for my anarthas, for my mistakes. Everyone, dear devotees, thank you so much for listening.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Madanur
Thank you.
Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Mataji. Mataji, what a wonderful class. You summarized it so well, Mataji. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Sorry for mistakes. Thank you so much. Mataji.
Thank you. Mataji, I was just gonna remind about the bhajan, if I may.
Yes, please, Mataji.
Yep.
Please.
So Mataji, we have lovely Sanchita Mataji's 2 kids today doing the bhajan for the pleasure of Radharani. We have lovely Purbasa and Pranashu who will be doing the bhajan and the recitation. But whenever you say, Mataji, that if anybody has any questions, we can do that. Is it okay to go for the bhajan, Mataji, first? Because
That's
so then the
fine.
kids can
No
drop up,
worries.
and
No
then
worries.
we can go with, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Sure, sure. Hare Krishna.
Sanchita Mataji, whenever you're
Hare-
ready, we'll do the recitation first. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yeah, this I'll just put the video on. Mataji, if you don't mind, can you put the fonts a bit bigger size for everybody to have? On the, now, on the top, like the yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Happy Radha Ashtami. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite.
Beautiful, beautiful bhajan. Very beautiful. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prashant, read his translation.
O Radha, O beloved of Madhava, O you who are worshipped by all the young girls of Gokula, all glories unto you, all glories unto you.
You who dress yourself in such a way to increase Lord Damodar's love and attachment for you, O Queen of Vrindavana, which is the pleasure grove of Lord Hare Krishna.
O new moon that has arisen from the ocean of King Vrishabhanu, O friend of Lalita, O you who make Vishakha loyal to you due to your wonderful qualities of friendliness, kindness and faithfulness to Krishna.
O you who are filled with compassion, O you whose divine characteristics are described by the great sages Sanaka and Sanatana, O Radha, please be merciful to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you, Mataji.
God bless you. God bless you both.
Please forgive us for our mistakes. Hare Krishna.
So, Namrata Mataji, anybody has any questions or anything? So I'd like to just tell the last bit before we go. So how do we introduce the principles of religion? Is by we're doing it by compulsory fasting in a month, yeah. And by compulsory, I think Prabhupada tried to say in the last lesson, we said so that we do not. So austerity can be done by fasting, and the prostitution can be reduced by compulsory marriage of young, I mean, at a rightful age, and young boys and girls, and how we can get back our by charity, giving by charity, and by preaching the principles of Bhagavatam. So we obeyed by doing some karma yoga, by doing everything for the satisfaction of the Lord, whatever we do. And we're regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam from authorized sources. We're chanting the glories of Lord congregationally, like Sankirtan Yagna, and then rendering all kinds of service for Bhagavatam, engaged in preaching of Srimad Bhagavatam, and residing in places situated with the God consciousness. So that's the summary in a way of all the thing. How we bring back religion. So if anybody has any questions, I can answer. But the bhajans were so blissful. Thanks a lot for such a lovely breather. Absolutely young children doing so beautifully. So if anybody has any questions, please let us know. Let me know. I hope I was able to deliver up to your expectations.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I think Mataji, somebody else had a question. I'll wait, Mataji. Okay, I'll go ahead, Mataji. Then Mataji, I just wanted to say what a wonderful bhajan sang by Purbasha and Pranashu. I mean, at this young age to do, we got privileged by wonderful kirtan, got privileged by kartal and harmonium. So I just want to say thank you to Sanchita Mataji. And Mataji, I had a quick question, if I may. So, and apologies, Mataji, if this is already explained, then I'm sorry because I did miss some of the sessions. But Mataji, in one of the slokas in text 39, it does say a little bit more about the gold. Right,
Yeah.
the gold and how gold could lead to lust and all of that.
Falsity, yeah, pride and
yes.
everything.
Yes. So Mataji, gonna be very honest, right? We're all Indians, yeah, and we all love a bit of gold and a bit of diamond, and I'm not gonna deny there, Mataji, right? I'm still very fallen. I'm still in this little bit of this materialistic things that I do like certain things. So does that mean it's bad, Mataji? I'm being very vulnerable here. Very open, Mataji.
I
Yeah. So
don't know
does
what
that
to
mean
say. I don't know what to say because every one of us wears some gold or the other. And what we have to say is, it is Krishna's and we're giving it back to Krishna. So you should not be stuck with it, whatever it is. And your pride should not be, you should not have pride because you're having so much of gold. And if if the gold is causing a problem for you, then of course abandon it. Yeah. If it is not causing a problem, I mean, only in limitation, like obviously you're not supposed to, the best thing is not to have any of these. Just live a very simple life like the sages. But is it possible in this lifetime? You have to really surrender. So to become a true devotee doesn't want any gold, nothing at all. So we are not in that level yet. So when the time comes, Mataji, I'm sure you will just donate, I mean, give away everything, and it will just be so simple. You won't even know. So, but that is, I think, by continuously remembering God will only tell you what is the right. He will explain to you, or he will come to you in your thoughts in your mind, and lead you to the right path. That's what I'll say. Yes, gold is not good, but again, how Prabhupada Raisha says, if you use it in the service of the Lord, then that could be accepted. So I don't know how to answer your question. In
No,
a way,
I think you've answered it, Mataji. It's like you said. No, I think you have, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
that's it.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mamta Mataji. It's a long time.
Indulekha Mataji. Hare Krishna, after a long time.
Yes. Thank you,
Okay.
Mataji. Very nice class you have been taking, like in a row, 2-3 classes. It's a blessing to hear you. Thank you.
Oh, Mataji, please.
Concerning the gold thing, you know,
Please,
when
Mataji.
it's earned through your hard earning money, it's not like you store a lot of gold whereas others are suffering. A little gold is okay because you are not stealing from others. You bought from your hard-earned money. So Prabhupada also said, you know, one of the Goswamis, I think it was Sanatan Goswami, he had a boat of gold after he left his service. So he gave 50%, 25% he gave to his family members, 25% he kept for himself.
For yourself, yeah.
Yes.
But the problem comes over here is like asserting gold, because the gold is the one which will distract you away from the Lord, isn't it? So that is that way, yeah.
Yes, Mataji, but if you have a little bit like a Mangal Sutra, you cannot not have gold. And a married woman cannot wear Mangal Sutra without gold in it. And because we are living in the Kali Yuga, so you have a ring. So you have little bit, it's okay. Not amass a lot, and that will create problem among yourself and your family members. When sometimes we see when a parent dies, the dead body is still in the house, and people are fighting over the wealth, over the gold, over the whatever jewelry the person have had. So a little bit, not too much, it's okay.
So you told the point over there, Mataji. Even when the dead body also, they're fighting for the gold. So it is not good in a way. You know?
I have witnessed it. That's what I'm telling you.
Yes. It's such a difficult question to answer. Yes, we are not. So what I was just trying to say, like, is we are not so pure devotees that we can abandon everything.
Yes.
And so when a time will come, when the time comes, you will abandon. It doesn't matter, Mangal Sutra, you're showing it for other people. But actually in your mind, you know, he's my husband. So big deal, who knows? So you don't have to wear a Mangal Sutra. This is only to show other people because they're Kali Yuga, you know, otherwise they will not accept you. So yes, I do understand. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, of course, in this world, we need for other people to show that, yes, I belong to so-and-so family, or belong to so-and-so, whatever it is. Yes.
It's not only to show people, you know, the Lord is happy when we dress ourselves and we present ourselves in front of him on a day. So we don't go like naked body or whatever, but the Lord also is happy, but we don't overload ourselves. Little thing
in moderation.
Yes, everything in moderation is okay, isn't it?
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nice to hear. It was very nice to hear you. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji, please. Thank you so much. Need your blessings.
Yes, it's nice for a change.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
I will
Krishna.
wait for next week again.
Very
I
Prabhuji.
always try to be present, but something happens, other thing happens, But it's still, I enjoy whenever I attend your meetings. It's very good. Hare Krishna. God bless you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So if anybody has no more questions, then should we wrap up the class, Mataji and Prabhuji?
Yes, that's fine, Mataji. Wonderful class. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All your blessings, Mataji.
Thank you so
Hare
much,
Krishna.
Mataji, for wonderful class. Thank you so much.
Mataji. Thank you.
We can say the Vancha Kappa prayer now.
Yes, Mataji. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See you again in the next class, everybody. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mamta Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for wonderful
Krishna.
class.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.